Welcome guys to Uefn Academy. In this video we'll be creating this magic barrier here. When you activate the trigger you will spawn it. Also the other players cannot go through. And when you reach 0 the barrier despawns and we can go through it. So let's get started. So we are in our project right now, so let's create the base. Let's scale it to 0.2. Click end and rotate it. Now let's create a blueprint for our crates, for our bars. So now we have our creative prop. Let's put it in the base. Now we should get the barrier device. Barrier device. Trigger. And a timer. So we should resize the barrier. Let's put the trigger more in the middle. And timer we can set up also in the middle. So we should set up now the timer to, let's change the color. Completion behavior, we should set up to reset. Let's put it to 10 seconds. Let's display only seconds and disable show on HUD. HUD. We should now create the verse device. So click on content, create new verse file, and let's create magic barrier manager. Create. And we don't need this, we don't need this, and we don't need this. So I prepared some ready code and I will explain it to you as we go. So first thing we will need to do, we will need to have some kind of base wrapper. So this class will hold information about our base, and we should have also some agent data which will hold our base. So now on our manager we will put the editable bases. Here we will put all our references to our bases in the editor. Let's get some player data map. Now we need to initialize our players. So whenever a player joins the game, the session, we will trigger the onPlayerJoined method. So let's get onPlayerJoin. So whenever player joins, we will add the player to our map, and then we will go through each base in our in our field of bases. And whenever loop starts, we set the base as occupied is true, so that the next player, when he joins, he will be able to take another base. He won't be referencing the occupied base. Here we are creating the reference of new base. We are assigning all the fields. And now we are adding to the base barrier our player to ignore, so that the barrier won't trigger the player. So we are the owner of this barrier. And here we have also two events. So one is success events on a timer. So whenever the timer finishes, we will trigger this method. And this method basically hides the props and also disables the barrier. So whenever timer reaches 0, we will disable those two things. But also we should activate the barriers when we trigger our trigger device. So let's get a method for triggering the trigger device. Here we have on-base barrier trigger activated. And here we will get the player from our player data map. And we will start the base timer. We will show the creative prop and we will enable the barrier. Let's also add another thing here. We should find a way to control our loop somehow. So whenever we assign the base, we want to stop the loop. So let's create loop active. Let's add it to for loop. So we will loop only when the loop active is true. And at the very end, let's set loop active to false. And we also should put this loop active to true in the beginning. So this is our simple barrier manager. Let's build it, save it. Now we should have our device here. So let's drag it. And assign the base barrier, assign the base trigger, base timer, and our bars prop. Push the changes. One very crucial update from the future. So I missed that on the barrier, we should have a hollow box. So make sure that zone shape is a hollow box, and also remove the collisions from the barrier props. If you won't do it, this whole functionality won't work. So remove the collisions, save it, and then push the changes. Now we are in the game. Let's see how our barrier behaves. So let's activate the trigger, and after 10 seconds it should disappear. Yeah, and it works as it should. So now we'll create the multiplayer mechanism, and let's see actually if this works in multiplayer. So if we cannot really go to another player's base when the barrier is activated. So let's do that. Go into your outliner and select all of the devices and all of the props. Add them to a folder, new base. Let's see if we targeted everything and we forgot about the barrier. So let's add a barrier. And we got everything. So now duplicate hierarchy, move it here. Let's add another base into the device. So let's select barrier. Let's select base trigger, base timer, and the bars. Now save the changes and push the changes. We are in the game right now and I'm in a multiplayer session. So whenever the second base gets activated, as you see, I'm not able to go into. And this is the same for this base. So we have two separate logics for two bases. So let's see now, and I can go to this base. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like what I'm doing, then consider subscribing and check out my Patreon, where you will find all the mechanics from Still a Brainrot. See you next time.